Yo, hey guys, Bweeks here, back in another video. We talked about Slormancer today in early access, and just kind of going over everything that is public knowledge to kind of roll it out there, because if you just watch the trailer, you might have a little bit of a misrepresentation of what's actually out with the game. So I went ahead and went through a bunch of different content for the game, like their Reddit posts, which is all public, their Discord, their Steam forums, maybe a couple other ones I can't think of right now, their actual website, their YouTube, yeah, all that kind of stuff. So went through all that just to kind of see what was out there, because I can't actually talk about what I've played in early access, but I can show like what's already out there, and all these links are like public, and I can put everything in the description, all that. But I basically handpicked some screenshots that I think would be good for you guys to see, or just kind of know before you get the wrong idea of what's actually available in early access and buy the game without really knowing, you know, what you're getting into. So anyway, first thing I have here is a screenshot from one of the developers. There's 3 different developers, but all these are from 2 different ones. So this is from Ashmore. So basically, the guy asked what the price was when at start. So it's going to be $14.99 US with a 15% discount the first week. So if you're interested in the game, you might want to pick it up while it's on sale. You know, if not, then, you know, just add it to your wish list and pick it up a later time. Anyway, so that's the first screenshot. Moving on, we have this one here. So he replied to someone that replied to another thing, and it was just someone asking a bunch of questions, and it was a non-developer person answering those, but I don't really, you know, it's not fact unless it's from a developer for me, so I'm just focusing on what the developers actually said. So anyway, he says, first, there won't be a true in-game in the early access release. Max level will be 40 at first and 100 in the final version, and you'll be able to run the basic Rift-like expeditions in a very sandboxy way. In the future updates, we'll add features and systems to give this mode much more depth, goals, challenge, and variety. To tease a bit, you'll have to loot those. Okay, so, you know, some interesting information there. Basically just showing that, you know, it is an early access game, so it'll be capped at level 40 instead of level 100, but as they add in more stuff, you'll be able to level up more. Anyway, but we also plan to implement other in-game modes to challenge your favorite builds in different ways, such as something that is visually could remind you of the PoE Atlas. I can't tell you too much about those, as they are still in heavy work in progress, but I can assure you this is one of our core in-game progression features. Okay, so, you know, we got a lot of plans, but it's not going to be in early access. Without leveling, indeed, we don't have a Paragon system, and want to try to offer more horizontal content than endless vertical progression. In this regard, we provide Slorm Reapers, which are very unique and build-defining weapons. And just like Pokemon, you'll be able to level them up to 100 max. Some of them will evolve. All of them will have a primordial version to unlock. So if you like discovering and exploring most builds, most of your time will be dedicated to leveling those weapons. So I'm gonna have some links. I'm gonna show off some web pages that, you know, more towards the end of the video, that talks about the primordial versions and the Slorm Reapers in general, because all that is also public. Anyway, regarding the tree, it may look like PoE's tree, but doesn't have the same role in our game. You unlock stones to put into the tree while progressing through the story, and you might find most elemental magic passives, auras, and actives in this tree synergize with your build. As said by the previous person, the first nodes are much more basic than the further ones. Okay, we'll touch more on that, because there is 7 like stones you could put in, but you're not going to have 7 when you start. You end up having 2. When the screenshots later will say that. And then he just says, you know, things are a work in progress. So moving on to the next screenshot I have, we have the same developer from the previous one, but this is in Discord. He says, I would say in between, it's not Chronocon damage, but our level cap is 40 right now. That's not really what I was here for, is the Chronocon thing, but if you enjoy crafting and making gear a piece of perfection, you might achieve some pretty fine numbers. So this is talking about what you can do in early access with level cap 40 and like the damage numbers you'll probably hit. They also have a bunch of crafting information out there, so I can have that link as well. We move on to the other developer in Discord. This is Ashmore. The question was on EA. I understand up to the first act. Will it full stop game after this point, or keep playing? So the answer, once you complete Act 1, you have access to in-game stuff that you endlessly farm waiting for the next update. Alright, we'll talk about their update schedule as well, because they have that live. Alright, back to Discord. This is the other developer. What is the current in-game like? To be fair, it's very basic sandbox, free grinding mode, but it is because it's a foundation from where we build some more neat features on it. As I said a few weeks ago, don't expect too much in-game content as it's obviously not fleshed out. Remember, it's early access version. Most of the core mechanics and progression systems are in place. You can check a lot of that info through our Steam articles, which you can. There's a lot, and that's basically what I'm going to be linking to you guys, or showing off a little later in the video. So you'll have a lot to unlock and discover regarding build diversity, but the in-game loop is currently limited. Alright, in the next one, you should definitely have plenty of content to unlock and discover, even in this version, if you don't mind too much about the limited variety in the dungeons. I understand your concerns, but it is a decision made to make less meaningful the grind for future content in a way, by adding more content to grind, other and richer game modes, and you'll be able to experience those as it is planned, not getting obsolete or useless as you were way over leveled. Also, don't worry, there will still be a lot of grind experience-wise. Slorm Reaper's weapons have their true level cap enabled. So even though your character level stops at 40, you can still grind Slorm Reapers all the way up to 100. So that's pretty good to know. There's a, you could grind for a long time if you wanted. Alright, next screenshot we have is from Ashmore. You unlock one ancestral stone pretty early in the game. This is the stones I was talking about for the PoE-esque talent tree that alters your characters. They said in the previous screenshot that the more general stuff is towards the center of the tree and the more specific stuff is towards the edge of the tree, which usually means less powerful stuff is in the middle, and really powerful stuff that you have to really build around is towards the outside. So you get one ancestral stone pretty early in the game when you find a specific villager, then basically one stone per act. So it already said you get Act 1 in early access, so you're going to have 2 stones here. Then there will be one regular stone left, and the first ancestral stone, the special one, are both tied to different in-game stuff, and you have to clear to unlock them. Or at that point won't say much more, we want to keep this a secret for now. For EA, it means one new stone per update, since we plan a new act per update, and the last 2 the final update leading up to 1.0. Every skill and passive in the tree is ready and 100% done, so you don't have to worry about getting stones leading to unfinished upgrades. Okay. Our next screenshot you have is, which, getting close to the end of these, but anyway, here we go. If you're talking about how you can imbue your skills with elements, fire, ice, lightning, and shadows, this is something they have on their website. That's something you can do in the endgame. This feature won't be available in the first version of Early Access. All characters benefit from this power the same way, though Ancestral Legacy, I think he meant to say through Ancestral Legacy nodes, all weapons will also benefit in the same way, but obviously some of them, as well as other legendary effects, have synergies with specific elements. Also, poison is not considered an element in the game, so it will be available from the start. Alright, and this is the early access forecast I was talking about. So we talked about Act 1 was going to be available in early access, and that's coming out, April 6th. So then the next one, ETA, is July, so you have all of April, so that brings you to May, that's 1 month. June, July, so you're looking at maybe 3 months of the current EA, and then you're gonna have a big patch. So it's gonna introduce a new act, new story missions, 5 new enemies, new boss, and new in-game content, and also breach events, whatever these things are. I'm not really sure how often the rest of these are spaced out, but that's kind of the overview of what they're looking at. You can check all that out. And then I think I have one last one. So this is from Ashmore. It says, or someone asked, looking at the roadmap, this is going to be in early access for a long time. Frown face. And Ashmore says about 2 years, yes. So that's oh, we have one more screenshot. So anyway, yeah, so it's going to be kind of a long EA process, but you can kind of see when the updates are planned on coming out. And then we have another one. So these are just going to be some generic screenshots, not as big of a deal, but just some more insight on the game. It's the same genre, so a lot of the systems are quite common in some of the other ARPGs, leveling, item rarities, crafting. We also have some progression systems that are quite different, such as how you can upgrade your skills, a mix between Diablo 3 runes and PoE gems, or how you loot unique weapons that you have to collect, level up, sometimes evolve into greater forms. In the future updates, as you mentioned, the roadmap, you'll be able to imbue any of your skills with one of the 5 elements, magic, schools, fire, ice, holy, etc. And the in-game runs will provide a different experience than most ARPGs. So a little insight into what the end game is going to be, or they plan to be in the future. We don't really know what that means. This is what I was talking about earlier with the elemental stuff that you can view on your weapons not really being available in early access because you can't get enough of those stones to make it to the outside, which is where you would get those upgrades. Alright, another screenshot. Someone just asked, because everyone loves necromancers and stuff apparently. So someone asked, will there be a necromancer type of class or abilities? Love minion builds the most, but I'm very curious. It says not an April 6th event, but we would love to implement this kind of class mechanics into the game. So, you know, another thing they're looking at, but just they don't have any plans for it. So that's the first part, is just these screenshots. Also going to show off these the websites a little bit, or the forums that I saw. So we have the work in progress here for the crafting and economy. So you have the different currencies. I'm not going to read all this for you, just I wanted to show that, you know, that's what this link is, and if you're very curious about it, you can check it out. As far as I can tell, all of this will be in early access. So, but keep in mind, it is level 40, so if there's any crafting locked behind level, or any materials that you would need for crafting that you can't get because you can only go up to level 40, obviously that stuff just won't happen. So anyway, you have the different currencies here, and just, it's pretty good, like, forum post I would read about it, just for the different crafting menus. So you have you know, crafting, reinforcing, so it's like re-rolling the item, making the item stats stronger, and it has like a level up bar on it. So you wear the item, it gets stronger, then you can reinforce it, and that's going to, you know, get you some extra upgrades. It's a pretty interesting system. I would recommend checking it out. The next one is another work in progress, is just character customization and Reapers. So Reapers are the weapons. So they have the old, new, and new again. So they were talking about the primordial versions before. I'm not really sure if this says how you get them. But anyway, there's different versions. So you can basically ignore the old. I mean, you don't really need to know about that. But you can see these, you know, Slorm weapons. They have their levels, they level up, you get different stats for each level. And I think it talks about how many different ones there are to find. 120. Don't know if there's going to be 120 in the early access or not. Some are probably locked behind levels. I'm not really certain on that. But anyway, a lot of different customization, a lot of stuff you just have to, you know, grind out and find to actually find the base weapon you want, and then you have to level it up and all that fun stuff. But these are the ones that have no cap on the level, so you can actually get to level 100. I don't know if it's once you get to level 100 it becomes primordial, then you have to start leveling up that one. Not really sure, we'll see. But yeah, that's before, after. And then you can see there's the collection, character attributes, another thing they're talking about. You can see basically all about this. Obviously character attributes are basically what you get for leveling up. It says it up here. Felt leveling up wasn't exciting enough. Well, they said leveling up wasn't exciting enough, so now you get attributes as well. Basically is what this says. So anyway, here's your attribute menu. Obviously you're not going to have 100 because you're not going to be getting level 89, level 100. You're going to be capped at 40, so you're going to have your 40 points to spend. So it's going to drastically change what you can get, because if you want some node over here, this is either 40 points and you can actually get it, or you need way too many points, so you can maybe do like 10 in this one and 20 in this one and 10 in that one. So it's going to change like what kind of builds are available at this point in the game. But yeah, if you're interested, I would also read through that. And the last one is the one big skill tree. So this is what I was talking about, where there's the 7 stones possible, but from the screenshots and everything we know, you're only going to be able to get 2 stones. So the way the skill tree works, you start in the center, you can put in a stone and you make it to this one, and then from this one you can go either stone and go whatever direction you want to do. So that's just something to keep in mind. I mean, since you can't go all the way to the outer edges with 7 stones, you're gonna have a limit on what kind of stats you can get for your build. And so I would just, you know, look through this if you're interested. It also shows some of the other upgrades for the ancestral legacies, which I don't know if this is in early access or not. Anyway, good things to look at. I would also check out, you know, their Discord, because I feel like that's where I found most of the information. So if you're curious about any like specific thing, maybe check that out. And yeah, hope you guys enjoyed. Let me know if you have any questions or comments. I just wanted to get this out because I kind of wanted to show that, you know, the trailer video that's been playing throughout this video isn't quite accurate. Actually, let's just look through it real quick. So we can kind of see what's actually going on. I mean, this guy's level 51, so unless there's something with these builds that just, you know, they work at level 40 and they've leveled up, then some of these builds might not exist. So we just kind of have to see. But I mean, this guy's level 16, so presumably you'd be able to do whatever he was doing. This guy's level 49, so a big question mark there. 57. We also don't know what legendaries are locked behind levels, so if you need some legendary that's like really high level to do this kind of build, or some Slorm Reaper, then you know, maybe you won't be able to do this. It just kind of depends. So even though this is like their early access trailer, it doesn't look like all of this is going to be available. And yeah, you see here's the talent tree. He's got multiple stones in here. He has all of them unlocked, but there should just be, yeah, there's 7. So you're only gonna have access to 2. So it might just be drastically different. Anyway, I also talked about the like build videos they have on their YouTube. So I'm guessing that's from a different client, like a developer client. So stuff to look forward to in the future, but it looks like it's a, you know, probably not all these builds are going to be viable, at least at the start. Maybe not even all of the items you see here or all the crafting, just because of, you know, the levels capping at 40. You have 1 act, all that stuff. So all that being said, I still think it'll be fun. It's also going to be on sale. So if you're interested in the game at all and seeing how it progresses, and you don't really mind, early access is going to be, you know, a lengthy project. It's just 2 guys doing a indie game. I think it's 3 guys, but one's like a composer, but it's like 2 developers. But yeah, and if you have any specific questions for them, if you're on the fence about it or whatever, I mean, they're in the Discord, and it seems like they respond all the time to people, so you could probably reach out to them in the Slormancer Discord. Anyway, that's all I got for you today. Hope you guys enjoyed. Like, comment, subscribe, all that fun stuff, and I'll catch you guys in the next video.